girls, jumping up and down, squealed with delight as if they had just seen their favorite rock star. As Trump and his then-wife Ivana took an escalator up into his Trump's Castle casino, a crowd cheered him on. One man shouted loudly, "Be our president, Donald!" I also watched Trump run in 2000 on the ticket for the Reform Party, a fringe group with members in the tens of thousands, as opposed to the millions who call themselves Democrats or Republicans. It was during that brief campaign that Trump declared he would become the first person to run for president and make a profit. He said he had $1 million deal to give 10 speeches at motivational speaking events hosted by Tony Robbins. He coordinated his campaign appearances around them, so the campaign would pay for the use of his Boeing 727 jet. It was classic Trump, seeing profit in everything, even politics. Few people knew about it. For the 2016 run as well, a large share of Trump's campaign money has been spent paying himself for the use of his Boeing 757, his smaller jet, his helicopter, his Trump Tower office space, and other services supplied by Trump businesses. By law, Trump must pay charter rates for his aircraft and market prices for services from his other businesses. This anti-corruption law was designed to prevent vendors from underpricing services to win political favors, a legacy of a time when no one imagined that a man of Trump's presumed immense wealth would buy campaign services from himself. In 2016, the law ensures that Trump makes a profit from his campaign. Trump again declared his candidacy in 2012. He was treated as a serious contender by just about everyone except Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC and me. Separately, O'Donnell and I both came to the conclusion that Trump's campaign then had a purpose other than moving to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. His real goal, we surmised, was a more lucrative contract with the NBC television network for his aging Celebrity Apprentice show, where his trademark line was, "You're fired." Indeed, when Trump dropped out, he said, in effect, that as much as the country needed him in the White House, his show needed him more. Based on that, journalists concluded his campaign had been a strange joke. As such, they gave little regard to his announcement for the 2016 election. But this time, things were different. Trump's ratings were in decline. His show was at risk of being canceled. To Trump, a man who reads the New York tabloids religiously, I knew that just about the worst fate he could imagine for himself, short of death, would be waking up to these daily news and Post covers. NBC to Trump, "You're fired." As soon as Trump announced in 2015, I immediately set out to report what the mainstream news media were not. I wrote an early piece that posed 21 questions I thought reporters should ask on the campaign trail. Not one of them did. Late in the primaries, Senator Marco Rubio brought up my question about Trump University, and Senator Ted Cruz posed my question about Trump's dealings with the Genovese and Gambino crime families, matters explored in this book. I will always wonder what might have happened had journalists and some of the 16 candidates vying with Trump for the Republican nomination started asking my questions months earlier. This book is my effort to make sure Americans know a fuller story about Trump than the one he has polished and promoted with such exceptional skill and determination. Trump, who presents himself as a modern Midas, even when much of what he touches turns to dross, has studied the conventions of journalists and displays more genius at exploiting them to his advantage than anyone else I have ever known. More important, Trump has worked just as hard to make sure few people know about his lifelong entanglements with a major cocaine trafficker, with mobsters and many mob associates, with con artists and swindlers. He has been sued thousands of times for refusing to pay employees, vendors, and others. Investors have sued him for fraud in a number of different cities. But among Trump's most highly refined skills is his ability to deflect or shut down law enforcement investigations. He also uses threats of litigation to deter news organizations from looking behind the curtain of the seemingly all-wise and all-powerful man they often refer to as the Donald. At one of my first meetings with Trump, I did something I hope many journalists will do before the November 2016 elections. I brought up a casino issue that Trump did not know much about, intentionally saying something that was false, a technique that has many uses in investigative reporting. Trump immediately embraced my faux fact and shaped his answer to it, much the way television sites.